Okay, so I know I haven't done a video in a while, and things have been a little difficult in my land, so I've just been kind of down. But there's been something that's been really bothering me lately that I saw on YouTube, and I just felt the need that I would make a video about it because I think that there's a lot of cases like this. I'm sure you've heard me to say, if you've read my blogs or if you've seen some of my videos, I have made it abundantly clear that I do not, do not think that you choose to develop an eating disorder. I believe that you develop an eating disorder and you're sick, and it's a very, very difficult thing to overcome. It really is. It's a very difficult thing to overcome. But I will say that you don't choose the disorder, you don't choose the disease, but you do choose to recover. Recovery is your choice. It's nobody else's choice but yours. And believe me, I spent years hiding in hospitals and crying and saying, I can't do it. If you understood this, you would understand that I have no control over this. This is not, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, the only way to save yourself is to save yourself. The doctors can't do it. Your family can't do it. You have to do it. Well, I've constantly been seeing lately a lot of essentially wannabe eating disorders. Young girls and boys that are specifically striving to develop an eating disorder, and it kind of hits me like, so you want an eating disorder? Really? You don't. I promise you, you don't. You think, I know that these people are probably people that have problems, and, maybe they don't have enough attention at home, and they need a little, they think maybe they might get a little attention, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it's so glamorous. I don't get it, but whatever. Because you think it's glamorous, but let me run it down for you. When you start out, people don't really notice, and then you start losing weight, and then something clicks in your head, and it becomes, it's not a, oh, I've got to lose weight, I got to lose weight, I got to lose weight. It becomes like you have a monster inside of you that screams at you, that your whole day is ruled by calories. It's ruled by a scale. It's ruled by a number, it's ruled by, you eventually become a pawn in all of this. You lose yourself. I was no longer Andrea once my eating disorder got her teeth in me. I became full-blown a walking, talking eating disorder. I became a liar. And I was raised not to lie, but I became a liar. I would lie and say anything to protect my disease. I would. I was cutting myself. I was throwing up if anybody forced me to eat. I was doing anything and everything to have, to have my disease. And I got found out, I started at 15, and I got discovered my senior year in high school when my weight had fallen so low and people started noticing. Well, I got taken to the doctor, and I got officially diagnosed with anorexia. And my senior year in high school was basically constantly people telling me, did you eat? Did you eat? Did you eat? Did anybody see Andrea eat? Did anybody make sure she didn't go throw up? Let's see your arms. Do you have cuts on your arms? Oh, I don't know. Did she eat? Did she eat? Did she eat? Did she eat? Did you 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 eat? Just eat. Why don't you eat? Why is this so difficult? So I got better at lying and better at hiding and all that stuff, and I had music scholarships and everything else, and come time when it was time for me to go to school, my parents kiboshed that, and I was sent to my first treatment center. And when you go into this treatment center, every liberty that you think you have is over. Because of the nature of the disease, if you are truly ill like this, you need to be controlled. You need to have your choices are no longer your choices. You don't have a choice. It's what's in front of you is what you have to do. Well, when you get there, they're going to hand you a ton of rules, and then they're going to go through all of your stuff. They're going to take some stuff away. They're going to tell you the rules, and they're going to tell you basically that you no longer have privacy anymore at all. How many years have you been going to the bathroom by yourself, showering by yourself? Those days are over. Your bathroom is locked. You can go to the bathroom with somebody standing in the doorway with you. If you shower first thing in the morning, you might be able to do it without somebody in the bathroom with you. You will be checked on every 30 minutes when you are in your room sleeping to make sure you're not exercising. You will be fed a specific amount of food, and if you choose not to eat it, you will supplement with the Ensure Plus drink or 2. And if you refuse to do that, eventually they're going to tube you. Now, my first treatment center, I did what I had to do to get out. I ate, I gained weight, I got out. I played the game. I didn't want to recover, I didn't care to recover, and blah, blah, blah. Well, then I moved on, went to school, and didn't even make it through my whole first semester before I was hospitalized. And this time I was tube fed. And just before you think, so many people are like, oh my goodness, if you get an eating disorder and you get a feeding tube, that is hardcore. It does not make you any more hardcore than the next person or any sicker than the next person. It makes you more stubborn and more less willing to help yourself than the person who is just as sick as you but is trying to feed herself. I spent 8 years in and out of hospitals. I've been tied down to beds to have tubes shoved down my nose. I have lost friends who were amazing friends. I've lost family. Basically, at some point during all of this, that you think you want this disease, at some point, all the people that love you are going to back away from you because they have their lives. And if you won't help yourself, they can't help you. So they back away. It is not that they don't love you. It is that essentially they're protecting themselves from you. Because you're going to drag everybody with you, and you're going to make it a lot harder on them. So you want this. You want your eating disorder like that. You want to feel out of control all the time. Out of control. I would take a bite of food and literally think that I had fat growing on me. I was that ridiculously gone. I wouldn't drink anything because I couldn't handle having it in my body. My life revolved around my eating disorder, revolved around cutting, and eventually revolved around being completely numb all the time. Popping pills that some psych doctor gave me, like M&Ms, and so I slept all the time, and the only way I got any nourishment was through a tube. Worth it, right? I was so happy. I couldn't go to school. I couldn't hold down a job. I couldn't do anything. I lived in hospitals. I hung out with other anorexics, other bulimics. And let me tell you, that's not good company to keep when you're sick. I made the choice to recover after I met the man who's now my husband, because he still believed in me. And at that point, nobody else did. Nobody thought I would get better. They thought that I was chronic and that this was it. I had attempted suicide, nearly died, hated my life, was alone in a dark spot, never thought I could get better. And then I really decided, I made the choice. My husband sparked something in me. He saw that there was me still in there. I could be Andrea without the identity of my eating disorder. I could be Andrea without being anorexic. I could do all that. I could do it without being a cutter. And so that was my long trip up to survival and recovery. And recovery is hard. It's hard now, still. There are moments when I'm like, kind of thing, and I still struggle. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's so much more worth it to live. I wasn't even a person. I existed. I existed to die is what I was doing. I didn't even want to live. I was nothing. I was a shell of a human being. And now I have a baby. I have a husband. I have, all the things that I could never have had during my eating disorder, I have now. And for those of you who think you want this, let me tell you what else I have. I also have organ failure. My intestines, they don't work. They shut down. See this right here? This is how I get everything I need. I have a tube in me because I can't, I want to eat and I can't anymore because my body won't do it. It's dying. My heart's damaged. I've been in kidney failure. My teeth are ruined from the years of vomiting. My joints, I have osteopenia, I have all this stuff. And was it worth it? 8 years of my life to ruin my body at 28 years old? No. And so I see these people on YouTube and they're posting, they're like, I'm 15 and I weigh this much and I want to weigh this much because I'm a fat cow. Stop. You are not. No. No, 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 no. Do not strive for an eating disorder. If you don't have one and are trying to have one, you need to go to therapy and tell a therapist that, because it's not okay. I see girls and young women and old women every day that are still fighting this battle because they can't beat the monster in their head. So many people, young people, have died because they can't fight the battle in their head, and it is disrespectful and ignorant for you to post on a recovery video that you weigh this and want to weigh this, when people are dying because of this. People die because they can't get the help they need. They can't get treatment because insurance won't cover it. They don't have the $1,000 a day to go to a treatment center. This is not a choice. You do not choose to live this way. You make the choice to recover. And you know what? Recovery takes a lot more strength than it does to be sick. And I am so proud of all the people I know that have fought to get out of their eating disorder. And I cry and mourn for those that were unable to beat the were unable to win the war. They lost. And to hear people praise it like they want to live that lifestyle, it makes me sick, because I lived it. I lived it. I existed for 8 years as a walking, talking eating disorder. I will wear my scars, and I will probably die young because of it. And I'm telling you right now, if you are sick with an eating disorder, it is time to get help. The earlier you get help, the better. Do not do this to yourself. Do not. Do not post things like you're fat and you're ugly, because you're not. And that's not a way to get attention. It's not a way to live. It's a way to die. Do you want to die? Do you want to be half dead by the time you're 17? I mean, do you want to miss college like I did? Do you want to do all that? Do you want to spend your time tied to hospital beds with tubes down your nose and IVs in your arms and lose everybody's trust? Because, you know, I'm telling you, anorexia and bulimia, you turn into a liar. You're a liar. You'll do anything to protect your disease. Even if you're not a liar, you become one, because I wasn't until I got sick. It takes so much strength to recover. It takes so much more strength to recover, to fight against the screaming in your head, than it does to say, I'm fat, I need to lose 10 pounds. I don't respect that. I will not sugarcoat it, and I will not be supportive in that sense, because I've seen my friends die. I've seen them fight and fight and fight and die. A friend just died recently. Went to bed and didn't wake up the next morning. She didn't deserve that. She was a beautiful, beautiful young woman. And she lost her battle. And I see ignorant people saying stuff, just ignorant things that shouldn't be said. Calling her weak or whatever, and she wasn't. She fought for her recovery. She was fighting to try to get better. And she died because the disease was so strong. Make the choice. It is a choice to get better. You make the choice. Or you can let the monster win. Because you know what? When you sit there and you say, I can't, I have to do this, I can't stop, you're letting the monster do it. You have the control to stop. You do. It's not easy, and you need support, and you need help, and I will always help, support, and be there for somebody who's trying to get better, because I know how hard it is. But make the choice to get better. Don't make the choice to be sick, or try to be sick. For if you're young and you're trying to be sick, there's nothing glamorous about an eating disorder. It's ugly, it's gross, it's dirty. You don't want it. Make the choice. Because you're better than that, and you deserve a life that doesn't revolve around that. Please, please, please don't become a statistic. Please make the right choice. Please.